This video will guide you through the Dawn AC Apixaban module. Developed alongside the BMS-Pfizer Alliance, the Apixaban module is designed specifically for healthcare professionals involved in the anticoagulation of suitable patients with Apixaban. This module is driven by two audit tools, the Initiation Audit tool and the Follow-up Audit tool. When you use Dawn AC, this is the patient screen that you will be used to seeing, showing a typical patient on warfarin treatment, with the history panel at the bottom showing previous INRs and doses, and the dosing tab at the top. So this patient is on warfarin, but I want to move them to Apixaban therapy. In order to do this, I need to complete an initiation questionnaire to record that I'm going to move the patient. At this stage, it is important to note that the BMS Pfizer module is an audit tool only, so you can record that a patient is starting on Apixaban and that follow-ups have been completed. So as an audit tool, it doesn't contain any decision support tools. Now the questionnaire tab at the bottom holds the relevant questionnaires, and if I select this and then click on the form icon, it brings up a list of the questionnaires available to you. So I need to select Apixaban Initiation Audit Tool from that list. You can see at the top that there are a number of fields that have been pre-populated from the patient record within Dawn. So we have the patient name, the date, the unit number, and the fact that the status of the questionnaire is scheduled to be completed. The due date will default to today, but can be adjusted to future or past dates as appropriate. If the user is not ready to answer all the questions, they can simply click OK, which will then save the form and the details may be completed later. You can also see there's a treatment plan summary, and this is pulled from the patient record in Dawn, which shows the diagnosis, the regime that the patient is currently on, the date they started it and the duration. It also shows that the status is active and any notes against the patient record are shown also. If we move down, we can start to complete the audit tools. So we have the primary indication for Apixaban, so we can select atrial fibrillation, non-valvular. The initiation audit tool then provides options for recording renal function, so you can record serum creatinine, measured creatinine clearance, or the EGFR. So we'll put the measured creatinine in and body weight, I'll put that in at 90 kilograms. There's a link so you can access the prescribing information and also links to access a summary of product characteristics for Apixaban 2.5 mg and 5 mg. Next we have the CHA2DS2-VASc score and the HAS-BLED score, and these are only visible for the diagnosis of atrial fibrillation, as is the text on the right hand side where the key information summary is. So we have an option for procedures planned, and again we have the key information summary based on what you've completed so far in this audit tool. You can specify then whether the patient is going to be started on Apixaban, so we'll say yes, and after you've selected yes, further fields appear. So if you're switching from warfarin or another VKA, you put the current INR here, just a warning below that to say delay starting Apixaban until the INR is below 2. So we'll put our patient's current as 1.8, put the start date of the previous anticoagulant and the end date of the previous anticoagulant. So we'll put the end date of the anticoagulant today, and then below we can put the planned Apixaban start date for tomorrow. The initial or only Apixaban dose, we're going to select 5 mg twice daily. The dose drop down includes all the regimes suitable for the selected indication for that patient. Now, allow all possible regimes. This is disabled as a default, but it can be changed in the system settings. You've got a free text box to provide any rationale for whether you've reduced the dose. And then scrolling down, we can then see you were able to select who will follow the use of Apixaban. So we'll put anticoag clinic, and then below that we have an area to record education. This just provides an audit that education has taken place with the patient. So once we've completed this, you can click on the Mark as Complete box at the bottom of the questionnaire, and Dawn AC then saves the information as a completed record with a dose, and the initiation tool is also time and date stamped for audit purposes. Once the initiation tool is successfully completed, the patient's ongoing treatment plan for anticoagulation on Dawn AC may be activated and a date set for a follow-up review. We can then hit OK at the bottom of the screen. So we can now see the patient's screen with completed initiation questionnaire summary. Now that the questionnaire for initiation has been completed, the next step is to set the patient up a treatment plan for Apixaban. So first of all, I need to stop the current warfarin treatment plan that the patient is on. So we head into treatment plan. We're then able to select a cessation reason, switch to NOACs, and then stop. Just OK the Are You Sure button. And then you just will get a reminder that if this patient is stopping their treatment plan because they are no longer being treated by yourselves, you need to deactivate the patient record so that it frees up a patient licenses for any new patients or other referrals that you get. So now that we've stopped the warfarin treatment plan, we need to hit the new button at the bottom to activate a treatment plan for Apixaban. Primary diagnosis, start date, tomorrow as we selected in the questionnaire earlier, long term for the duration type. If the patient has a preferred clinic, again you can pop them in here. Moving over to the right under target range, we now need to select non-VKA. Back across under patient tablet options under regime, we now need to select the regime that we selected in the questionnaire. So that's Apixaban 5 milligrams. Now please note here that if you do add a new treatment plan for the patient and select a different regime to the one that was chosen in the initiation questionnaire, an error will appear on the Dawn screen and you won't be able to continue until the correct regime has been selected. So once we know that's the correct regime, we can hit activate on the treatment plan and again OK to the Are You Sure? And now that the treatment plan is active, if we head up and close that treatment plan, we can see that the patient screen has changed, the history tab at the bottom has been replaced by the questionnaire tab, and the dosing tab at the top where you would normally enter INR, dose and next test date has changed to the Apixaban tab. Now once a patient has been moved to Apixaban therapy, the benefit of using Dawn to do this means that there is continuity in the patient's anticoagulation record. So whilst the history tab is no longer at the bottom of the patient screen, you can click on the arrows next to treatment plan to see both the current treatment plan and if we hit the back arrow, the previous treatment plan, which is the warfarin, and the patient's associated history. So we can see here that the patient has 3 treatment plans, 2 previous and 1 active. So now that the patient has an active Apixaban treatment plan, you may want to schedule a follow-up for them according to your local protocols. So for example, in 3 months' time, you may want to see the patient again to check if the dose is still appropriate and to see if the patient is having any problems. This is all done from the questionnaire tab. So if we click the form icon as previous to bring up the list of questionnaires, we can now select the Apixaban follow-up audit tool. So here we can select the date we want to complete the follow-up questionnaire. So if we select 3 months time and then hit OK at the bottom of the screen, you can now see in the questionnaire tab at the bottom that alongside the completed initiation questionnaire, there is also a follow-up questionnaire that's marked as scheduled. You can see the date that the patient is due, and this date will enable you to use the non-VKA list view in the Dawn system to find patients who are scheduled for that date or have missed their follow-ups. In 3 months' time, when the patient appears for the follow-up appointment, once we're in the patient record, we can click on the Apixaban follow-up audit tool, and you can see that again pre-populated information from the Dawn record, the patient's name, the date, the unit number, the status of the questionnaire which is scheduled, and a treatment plan summary, again of the current treatment plan for the patient. It also then lists any active diagnoses from the Dawn patient record and their start date of anticoagulation. Now, the follow-up questionnaire is an audit tool designed to just make sure that the patient isn't having any adherence problems or any complications associated with the NOAC that they're on. So we can see the primary indication is confirmed from the Dawn record, the duration of treatment is long term, and you can ask some compliance questions here. And the compliance problems which apply to patients are recorded as they may be important in dosing decisions. Has taken the correct dose every day, too many tablets, missed any, or started any new medications. There's also then a list of reasons for compliance problems that you can record. And this list can be edited or added to in the follow-up audit tool if required to suit customer requirements. You can also record whether the patient has reported any adverse events and also make a note of what those adverse events are. A hyperlink to the reporting site for the yellow card scheme is included to enable healthcare professionals to follow relevant protocol for reporting adverse events. Again, you're able to complete details of creatinine clearance, serum creatinine, body weight as required. If you want to record any other blood checks, you can do that here, and the CHADS-VASc and HAS-BLOOD options are also here. If the patient has any procedures, these are recordable, and again there's a key information summary just to confirm everything that you've completed in the questionnaire so far. Are you going to continue the patient on Apixaban? Hit yes. If you need to change the plan duration, there's an option here. Also a reminder that if there are any changes, you need to update the treatment plan as necessary. Any education that is covered with the patient can be recorded here for auditing purposes. Mark as complete once all this is done, and then if we come out of the questionnaire, we can now see the completed follow-up questionnaire along with the initiation one on the questionnaire tab in the patient record. If you then want to schedule the patient's next follow-up, and this one may be in 6 months' time, follow the same process of opening up a new follow-up questionnaire, adding a date to schedule it in, and closing that questionnaire down. So the questionnaire tab then provides a chronological list of all your actions with that patient, and for auditing purposes you can clearly see the patient has been initiated onto Apixaban and has had follow-ups at certain dates to check dosing, compliance and adverse events. As well as this video, there are also support resources for the DOAC modules within the user manual, and this can be accessed from within the Dawn AC system via the help button at the top of the screen. Alternatively, if you want more information on how to use the modules, or if you don't have the modules and are interested in having them installed onto your Dawn system, you can contact the Dawn support team at support@4s-dawn.com. Thank you.